Hey guys, how you doing? All good? Um, Ready to do some Ethereum transactions with fiat and credit card. Has anybody that has been here actually went to the lecture that was in the other room about the UX state of the dApps? Anyone? No one? Okay, gonna give you brief info because I'm going to be leading over this lecture in order to not do too much of like doing the same things. My lecture is going to actually be a little bit more about UX than just executing different transactions with fiat money, because in the end of the day, executing these transactions are just a convenience method so that we can drive more people to be adopting our applications. Pretty much what the other lecturer have said is that we should think a lot about our users when they're using our dApp and try to not confuse them by adding new things. For example, she asked, all right, what is actually a Web3 wallet? I mean, for a regular user, even I'm not sure how to explain to someone what Web3 wallet is, what actually is Web3. It's very hard. So I'm going to begin here with just a few words about myself, so that you know me. Maybe some of you already know me from last year. Maybe you have met me during this year. But I'm George SPASOV, or Georgi SPASOV. When I'm in Balkans, on the Balkans, I'm Georgi SPASOV. And I'm a blockchain architect. I'm a co-founder of a company called LimeChain. And we've been around for the past 2 years. We've been developing hard on blockchain applications. Pretty much we're not like an ICO that has spawned a chain, hence we have a chain in our name. We actually do just develop for other clients their dApps, and we have worked with more than 20 different companies. And because we have worked with more than 20 different companies, we've been able to learn stuff, because they have been asking us things, and we've been battling together things. So I can say that we are like one of these companies that have like enormous experience in actually building stuff, because we've been able to build with different clients of ours. And I have the pleasure to experience the mindset and the hardships of maybe over 50 different companies, not only like developing for them, but just talking with them. I'm very active in Twitter, so you'll see me driving content about anything blockchain in Twitter at @GSPASOV, and quite recently, from the beginning of this year, I have started my own news piece every Monday for blockchain developers, where you can learn what are the new things. And without any further ado, what I wanna talk in this is talk about what's the current state of the dApps and adoption in UX. How can we fix these? Obviously, one of these is through credit cards. And I want to give you some actionable tips that we have found out from our real-world experience. And let's talk first about dApps adoption. No good presentation is any good if you don't have like shocking, worrying stats. So let's do a little bit of drama. So I have gone to a very interesting site called dApp.com, and I have checked the top 3 gambling dApps. And I have checked how much is their community following in social media. So the top 3 in terms of active daily users have just engaged just 2% of their social media community. So I think it's pretty low. Let's go with some other stats very quickly. With the games dApps, it's the highest one. It's 5%. With the finance dApps, it's 2%. With social dApps is 2%. With tooling dApps is 0.3%. So pretty low. And I'd like to know why is actually that, and I will give you my version of why actually is that. Well, this all happens because of this is who we are. We have to make this that easy for everyone to be able to experience what we have to offer there. We don't have to be complicated in order for people to actually willing to spend time with us. And Actually, this is the current user experience that people have when they're dealing with blockchain. So you have on one side MetaMask, and by the way, I'm not like dissing these companies. I'm just saying that this is what currently is the state. I mean, most of the people interact through MetaMask. Some people interact through my wallet. When it comes to getting into this space, most of the people have come through Coinbase. So if you think I have something that I call myself the 5 circles of dApp user hell, it's borrowed from Alex van de Sant from Ethereum Foundation's talk about user experience and adoption. And if you think about what regular users go through in order to get into any dApp, well, you have to first learn about, well, what is the new and complicated thing called blockchain. Then you need to figure out, all right, how I'm going to buy like ETH or AE. It doesn't like, it's not only applicable to Ethereum, it's also applicable to any other network. So I need to figure out how to buy the native coin with fiat. Normally I need to go through KYC, 3 days here. So imagine me trying to interact with your dApp, and then I'm very, very, very new into this. I go with 3 days KYC. Just try and figure out how many people are going to remember to come back into your dApp for like after these days. Then you go to an exchange because you need to find a token because, well, ETH is not enough. You have your own token. Then, well, where do you actually place all of this? By this time, this has been in Coinbase. You have in Coinbase, you have just an account, but then in your exchange, you have in some way have deposited this. You have sent them from Coinbase, but now you need to withdraw them. Where do you withdraw them? In a wallet. What is wallet? Absolutely no idea. I mean, except thing that sits in my like back pocket doesn't like tell me anything by this point. I probably have to figure it out. I do Google. I figure it out. Then I deposit my tokens in the dApp that I want to interact. And then I'm a survivor and I benefit and profit from the things that I want to be benefiting and profiting by using this dApp. Now, this is absolutely on purpose made like a funnel, because it is a funnel. Because there are very few people that are as persevering in order to go through all this, and they are very enthusiastic. This is why you see like from 5% to 0.3%. And while we are on this like minor note, let's see what we can do in order to fix that. Well, I have 3 suggestions that we should do. First of all, let's stop inventing new eggs. Second of all, let's try and simplify what we currently have. And third of all, well, let's try and use something that they already know, because if they know already something, they have gone through it, it's going to be easier for them. Let's try with some actionable tips for those of you that are creating your dApp's user experience. Well, first of all, delay complexity. If you have to just show data and like fetch data from Ethereum to just show what is in there, you don't need to ask them to create a wallet. You don't need to do that. You only need to ask them to create wallet once they have experienced your dApp and they just want to start interacting with this dApp. Then, provide a seamless multi-device experience. How many of you have seen dApps that you interact through one wallet, probably MetaMask or something on your PC, then you have a Trust wallet or Coinbase wallet on your on your mobile phone, and it's very hard to actually connect these two accounts. I mean, you have to create wallets, authorize them, figure out a way to tell them, hey, I'm the same person that's there. Tip number 2 for me is provide a seamless multi-device experience. This is not easy. It takes certain compromises, mostly in terms of full decentralization. But one thing that is done there by Portis, for example, also LimePay, you'll see the same thing that is done there. There are actually cloud-based storage of wallets. This is what Portis does. So pretty much you create a wallet on one client-side application, you encrypt it the same way that MyEther wallet does when they give you a file that is downloadable. But instead of downloading this, they put it on the cloud, and next time that you say, hey, I'm George at limechain.tech, they serve you the encrypted wallet, and on the client-side application, you decrypt this through your password. Of course, there are, as I said, these are compromises. There are like pros and cons to this approach. you can pretty much figure out that you can get into a problem if you allow for too easy passwords, etc., etc. But it's if you like take this on the one hand, on the other hand, people are just logging in with their credentials, and you'll see a little bit later that actually through this tip, you can totally tell the people you don't have to know what wallet is, because you have to know what your password is. Abstract away gas, getting into a little bit more complicated things. There is a thing that's called meta transactions. How many of you have heard about meta transactions? Okay, cool. So meta transactions, I'm going to be very, very brief, because this thing is like a lecture worth of time that I can spend here, is pretty much allowing you to be represented by a smart contract on the blockchain. And your wallets are just access keys towards this smart contract. This means that you can have a smart contract that represents you with their address. You can do all the funky things that smart contracts can do, and you can assign multiple wallets that are going to be eligible to interact with this dApp. In addition to this, these smart contracts does not work with transactions that are sent directly to them from your wallet, but they all actually work by signed messages. This means that you can have a wallet which has 0 ETH, and you can just sign a message, give it to somebody else that we're going to call a relayer, and this relayer can take this, spend their own ETH, and put this into your representation smart contract, and then your representation smart contract is going to check whether this has been signed by a correct wallet, and then go through. And by this way, you actually allow people to not worry about ETH, because if you have in this representation smart contract, you have put some tokens that the relayer recognizes as something that's worthy, you can actually add a logic that says, hey, if you bring me here a valid transaction from somebody that's authorized, I'm going to pay you back in DAI, for example, which makes sense for all parties. And in this way, actually, you don't need to worry about gas, and you don't need to worry about ETH, because relayers worry about this. These are like crypto savvy people. You just worry to have like enough DAI in your representation. And there are much more cool things that you can do with this. And in general, just try to simplify things. If your user needs to go through like 11 steps, and you can just do it with some different compromises that you can do, I think that most of the times it makes sense to do so. And last tip, well, why don't we just use what they already know? Let me check the time. All right, why not just use credit card to pay in dApps? This is the million-dollar question, and what the title of this topic said. And I want to show you something. It's going to be just a 3-minute video. I'm going to walk you through this video, and I tend to think that this is one of the best user experiences that you can have in your dApp. And maybe some of you have already seen this, but this is website. I don't even call it dApp. It's a website. It's called voltitude.com. It's live on the mainnet. And in this website, you can upload your invention, your brain thoughts, put it on the blockchain, and later you can claim patents against it. It's very, very neat blockchain use case because it's immutable. You can always see who has put there exactly what, all the changes that has happened. I mean, everything that you would want when you put something on a ledger. And why am I showing you this is because we have thought about who is actually going to use this. And we have 2 target user personas. You have IP lawyers and you have inventors. So the first ones care around 0% about crypto and wallets and blockchain in general. They just want to have, like, make sure that the inventions that they're like putting there are safe and they're immutable, and they can prove at a later stage that actually all of this has happened, that they have put this there. Inventors, pretty much the same. Maybe they just care a little bit more about crypto, but not too much, and it has to be easy to them. So let me play this video, and here what I'm going to do. By the way, this was shooted in, I don't know, 10 something. It was like an hour ago. You'll see the dates. So I'm just logging in with my username and password. And as you can see here, I have an address, but even as a user, I don't have to really know what an address is. We're not putting too much emphasis into this. I have 0 credits. What is credits? Well, for those of us that are crypto savvy, you can call these tokens. But in Voltitude, we call these credits. And I have no credits. So I haven't gone and I haven't purchased any from any exchange. I don't have ETH in my wallet. And the only thing that I'm here to do is I actually want to create an IP. So yeah, this is my address that I'm highlighting here. So it's important because I'm going to show you some things later that are going to be important for the more techie of us that are here. So very briefly, I'm going to create very demonstrational purposes intellectual property, and not sure how to go forward, but so yeah, let's wait for it. So I'm just using the DApp as a very regular website. I'm uploading this picture that is going to be a representation of what I'm putting on the blockchain. I want to just put in some descriptions, want to make this like fully public, like everything that you'll see in just a regular website. I mean, it's nothing to do, you haven't seen anything to do with wallets and with crypto and with ETH. You haven't seen the word ETH. Let me go a little bit back here. So, and I'm going to stop it here. So all of this cost me 1.48 credits, which I don't have as I showed you. So I'm going to do pay with card. But okay, I'm going to put this for $42 on the blockchain. I have no problems with this. And there were like, let me go a little bit back again. Oops.
Let me take a picture.
Yeah, no, don't worry. These are demo accounts. I have this remark given to me like 1,000 times, so I'm good with that. So yeah, you can see like there is my name, everything that you see in Amazon or eBay, or I don't know who's the creation's more popular e-commerce website, but there you'll see the same things. You'll see your names, your country, your address, your credit card details, and pretty much this is it when you want to purchase what's there. What I want to purchase here is I want to purchase putting my intellectual property on the blockchain. So let me take some credit card details, screenshot now, but it's not going to be doing anything for you. And the only thing that is left here is for me to put my password. Actually quite crucial, but you'll see it later. And yeah, let's do confirm the payment. Checking the password, processing the payment. And I would like, while this is processing, I would like to note to you one thing. By this point, we haven't set the word wallet, we haven't set the word token, we haven't set the word ETH. If this was given to my mom, I'm pretty confident that she could go through this. So what we have here is we have a demo IP. Well, it's still pending. We all know why it's pending, because it's going through the blockchain. In a minute or two, this is going to go through. In the meantime, for those of you that are more techie, I'm going to Etherscan. And this is actually the address that I showed you earlier. It's my address of my account. And from this account, as you can see, there is 11 seconds ago, there has been a transaction. This transaction is, guess what? ERC20 approved transaction, because I want to approve some tokens to be moving around. Then there is another transaction already that is going through. And this is the transaction that is going to transfer 1.48 tokens into the DApp. So let's see, by the way, 26th of April 2019, 7:51 UCT, which means 9:58. And as usual, waiting some seconds, and in about 10 seconds, all of this should go through. Yeah, it went through, as you can see. 1.48 tokens. We haven't done a very good job into making the decimal places there, but you can see that it's pretty much the same thing here. So I can very easily not have gone to Robson. I just went there for those of you that are like keen on seeing how this is actually working in the background too. So what I have here, I still have 0 tokens. I still have my address. I'm going to go to my vault. And in my vault, I'll have my demo IP that has been uploaded. And all of this has been completed. So I've been able to put my intellectual property onto the blockchain without saying the word wallet, ETH, or token. And I have used my own credit card. in order to do all of this. So this was the video that I wanted to show to you. So let me continue a little bit further. All of this is powered by a product called LimePay. It's obviously developed by LimeChain, but all of this came through requests and requests and requests from different clients of ours to be able to allow their dApps to be interacting with credit cards, to be accepting credit cards for the products or services they are offering. I'm going to give you a little bit more context about LimePay. What is LimePay? Well, it's a SaaS platform that enables end users to execute Ethereum transactions through credit or debit card. The same thing that you saw pretty much in 2 minutes ago. What can you do with LimePay? Well, you can store your IP on the blockchain. We already saw that. Make a flight reservation. You already saw that. No, I can show you. There is a company that's working on this. Buy an event ticket. Currently, we're integrating with a couple of companies. One company that is doing freelance platform that pretty much allows you to put your freelance, your task that needs to be executed by a freelancer, again through the use of this, although underlyingly it uses tokens. What LimePay does is pretty much enabling dApps to receive fiat, creates a crypto proofs platform, something that I'll tell you very briefly in a second, and if somebody is interested in the very inner workings of the platform, I can tell you more after this or in the questions. It enables generic e-commerce user experience. Everything that you saw here is pretty similar to Amazon, eBay, and whatever is there, and provides additional UX tools like not bothering with UX tools. Not bothering with wallets. Why were we not bothering with wallets? Well, because we just were typing our password, and the thing that I told you, the cloud-based wallets, was just kicking in. How it works? Well, user submits a signed transaction, although they don't have any tokens in it yet. The dApp is in the possession of a special smart contract that understands signed messages by the backend server of the dApp. And in this special smart contract, there are some ETH and some tokens. So these two parties submit these two cryptographical evidence into LimePay, and LimePay waits for both of these as a confirmation that they want to deal with each other. And when LimePay has these two, actually we're able to execute both of these by sending the signed message by the dApp into this smart contract, which is going to release ETH and tokens into the wallet of the user, and then we are broadcasting the transaction that has been signed by the user, because they already have ETH and tokens in order to do what they want to do. And we charge the credit card and directly forward the money into the bank account of the legal entity that's behind the dApp. And the user pretty much receives the service, the dApp receives the fiat. What is LimePay is not is very important. Well, LimePay is not a crypto exchange, so you cannot just make a fiat, take a fiat and send back crypto. So we are not an on-ramp or off-ramp solution, because this is subject to much different regulations that we cannot currently oblige to. And we work with private ERC20 tokens or dApp ICO tokens. We are shortly going to be working with public ERC20 tokens, much like DAI, and we are shortly going to be working with ETH. And we're proudly backed by LimeChain, but also by MakerDAO. So MakerDAO, like the company that Gustav spoke about in the beginning of this day, have actually decided to back us up with a grant in order to further develop this application. And yeah, pretty much this is everything that I wanted to tell you about LimePay. I just want to recap the tips that I gave you, because I feel that if anyone integrates this, it's going to be it's going to drive an amazing journey for their users. So first of all, think about your users, delay your complexity of your complex UX until they have experienced your platform. Provide multi-device user experience with tools like Portis or LimePay if you decide to integrate. Sponsor or abstract away gas through meta transactions. There is already platform that's called ETH gas station, where there are relayers that you can pretty much tell them, hey, would you please send this for me to this contract, and this contract is going to reward you back. Or you're also abstracting this away with LimePay because you don't see me touching any gas or Ether tokens there, so it's pretty abstract. And just stick to known concepts. I mean, regular checkout card, passwords instead of pop-ins from MetaMask, dollars and credits instead of tokens just works miracles. And yeah, pretty much this is everything that I wanted to tell you. Please do connect with me in Twitter with GSPASOV or follow me on YouTube at LimeChainDLT. And yeah, this is everything that I wanted to tell you. Any questions? I would like to take them now. How much time do we have? 3 minutes, so 6 questions. All right, you go first.
You said you make the relay transactions, but does it actually work with only your apps or your smart contract?
Give me a second. I'm hardly hearing.
You can't use those relaying methods on contracts that already exist. For example, the user could never give a token approval by relaying.
Yes, you do. We do so. I mean, LimePay, for example. LimePay is one example of gas relaying because actually LimePay's platform is relaying this, and we don't ask the dApps to change in any way what they do. Pretty much we are adding stuff that is somewhat external to these dApps, to what the dApps currently do, and allow the sponsoring to be happening in these external parts in order for the users that want to interact with the dApp that you're talking about to have enough funds to do so. If you're talking about sponsoring directly the dApps, yes, you have to do some changes in terms of the dApps and how do they interact. But with LimePay, you don't have to change how your dApp works. Not even a thing. I mean, you don't have to change anything. It's just going to work as if your users can interact with your dApp. If they have ETH and tokens, they will be able to interact with LimePay.
Yeah, I was just thinking the message owner of like that contract register who call the smart contract, it won't be a user, but rather your other smart contract and your address.
If you're talking about meta transactions, it's going to be the smart contract that is representing the user, which is a good thing because you can do batch transactions, etc., etc. Yeah, but this requires changes. With LimePay, it is the user itself. With LimePay, you don't. All of this is, as you saw in Etherscan, all of this was coming from the user's wallet. There was not like some funny LimePay wallet that does all of this. Yeah.
Are you pre-funding the user wallet so you can execute transactions there? Then?
The signed message by the dApp is actually drawing some money from the smart contract that is governed by the dApp, which releases funds, ETH and tokens into the user's wallet, which allows you to later, when you broadcast the transaction, for this transaction to go through, and all of this is still traceable back to the user.
Right.
This is because it's the VAT.
Right. So that has nothing to do with fiat itself. You would still have to pay that if you were paying in crypto directly, or
You will have to pay 35 if you're paying in crypto, but because you're working with fiat, you need to add VAT.
For the end user, basically, is paying 20%
More. Yes. Just for using fiat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
that's
Okay.
a lot.
Yeah, that is what VAT is. By the way, this is 20% because it was in Austria. If it was in other countries, it won't be like 20%, but in Austria it's 20%.
Because when you talked about fees, I think you mentioned like 3, 4, 5%. But that's what LimePay?
Yeah, this is the commission fee on LimePay. Yeah, the commission fee on LimePay is 3%.
Every transaction you would have VAT, which would make it like 20% even on top of that.
Yeah, but yeah, this is going through the legal entity and how the legal. It's pretty much on the legal how it decides to go through. But yeah, I'm out of time, so I can tell you later if you want. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Who's next? I don't know. Who's next? You next? Okay. Thank you.